Contractors of Colorado. It is me, Andrew Lavrins, your host here today with another episode of the Contractors of Colorado Podcast. I have a very special guest, Mr. Zach Pillmore with Elevation Painting. Before we get started, another shout out to our sponsors, the Business Foundry and the Builders Outlet. Business Foundry for your business accelerator, marketing needs, co-working space, event center, anything you need to host you or your team or meet with clients. This is a great spot to do it. In the Builders Outlet, cabinets, doors, windows, trim, anything you need for your business in terms of materials, give them a call. They will help you out. Just tell them that you're with the Contractors of Colorado. And then always a big shout out to our verified affiliate program, all of our bookkeepers and CPAs, everybody that helps us with the professionalizing of the contractor industry. Thank you. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's really good to see you.
It's good to see you.
So first things first here, tell us a little bit about Elevation Painting, how long you've been doing this, where do you do it at, both residential and commercial?
Yes, everything, all of the above. So Elevation Painting started 2018. I founded it. Since then, we've done residential, commercial, industrial, coatings across the state, and even for certain clients out of state. So we have a contract with Staples we do nationally.
Wonderful. I did not know that. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. What inspired you to start Elevation Painting, and what makes you different than all the other painters out there?
Yeah. So back in 2018, I was working in the commercial construction space, and I just noticed that there's quite a bit of lack of professionalism in the more residential area of business. I had a couple of contractors come do some work in my house, and I was just so taken back with how everything was executed. And I remember sitting down talking to my wife. It's like, I think there's an opportunity to bring some serious professionalism to this game, and I think we can make a huge impact. So that's it was like a pipe dream, and then all of a sudden things just started clicking, and we had a great support around the community. We started out of Castle Rock, still locally owned and operated, and we have about 27 people here in the state that are part of the Elevation family, man.
It's incredible, man. It's really cool to see you grow. I've known you for years, and we've worked together in the marketing side for a long time. So
yeah.
It's really cool to see the business take off and really do it the right way, which is one of the things I really want to talk to you about is, going through that experience in your own home. Tell us a bit about what you do differently. What is the right way for you? What's your process look like, both on the residential and the commercial side?
Yeah, so everything starts with just honesty up front, from the sales process all the way through. So we're super transparent. We don't have any hidden fees. We don't try and get anybody on the back end of things. So everything that we provide up front, we ask kind of what's the problem and how are we going to solve it for you? So we want to make sure we include all the pain points for homeowners that they're going through. Maybe it's, hey, our house is a little dated. We want to refresh it. Or maybe it's like, hey, our exterior is actually failing and it's going to create us major problems as far as water damage concerns, stuff like that going forward. So getting that addressed. And then we have a 3-point inspection that we do with our field superintendent. So from pre-paint to all of our prep check to a final post check, and then walking with our clients. So that's kind of how we maintain all of our quality and keep everybody above board throughout the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys, I went through the process, and this was when I filed my good old hail claim, good old Castle Rock, new roof. And the roofers that I worked with also had known for years, like, well, we want to introduce you to our painter. And I was like, trust me, I know a lot of painters. Who is it? And they were like, oh, it's Elevation Painting. It's like, oh, well, I know them.
Yeah.
I know Zach, I know the team. And I have to say, I probably think about it, if not daily, weekly, about how awesome my house looks. The color's one thing. Like, anybody can throw on some color. What always amazes me is how, maybe thick is not the right word, but I just look at it. I'm like, man, it looks so well done. Every little detail. I'm constantly impressed. So what are we, 2 years post project, maybe a year post project? And I still think about it all the time. So it makes a huge difference.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you said that.
Of course, man. Shout out to you guys. Thrilled with the work.
So what was the best part of the experience with you?
Ooh, good question.
From working with us.
On your side, one, it was, I don't want to say it was quick because it wasn't like you didn't come slap paint on it and leave. Like there was clearly prep process and everything like that.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out was the consultation process. So I'm colorblind and I don't trust myself when it comes to colors.
Yeah.
And having the designer come out and sit down with us, because I was like, hey, I'm going to need a little bit of hand holding on this. And obviously I'm just turning over the reins to my wife. That's what it ended up being. But throughout the process, at least having a say of, all right, well, you know, what colors can you see? What can't you see? Where are your deficits? Okay, well, maybe we lean towards something like this. And then, you know, I look at my wife and I'm like, I like it. And she's like, I love it. And so really that part was awesome. And then just I didn't feel like I had to do anything. I made those decisions. And after that, it was kind of like, okay, well, they're going to be here at this time. And you were, which, I mean, that's a huge part of the bar is so low a lot of the times when it comes to this industry that just that alone was huge. And then it was, okay, you know, we're going to do all this work today. I remember getting told at a certain point, you're going to see, you know, there'll be like ladder marks or something like that. That's because we have to use the ladders while we're painting. But tomorrow, by the end of the project, you won't see anything. It'll be perfect. And if you don't see anything perfect, we'll be here to come back and help you out. So I don't know. The favorite part of the process was probably the designer, but the whole thing was so smooth, man. I think that overall that was a big standout point. It was just easy, and I like easy.
Yeah, well, that's our job. That's what we sell to all of our clients and people who have done work with us in the past. That's kind of our whole mantra is we want to you're hiring us to do a professional job. You shouldn't have to do anything. You should not be expected to do anything. And as long as those things are set out right out of the open, it makes for a pretty seamless project. Yeah. So I'm glad that you still like it. That's
of course.
I'm never going to ask you that question. So
yeah, no, I think you might be the first one on the podcast to ask me a question, which is I like that a lot. What else, man? So tell us a little bit about staying up to date on trends. It's something I like to ask everybody. You being a preferred contractor, it's cool to hear from a contractor's perspective. What do you have that keeps you up to date on the technology side or the craftsmanship side?
Yeah. So relationships is what our business runs off of, whether it's with suppliers or our own team members and all of our clients. We believe in that to the fullest extent. So when we get trends from all of the new Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore reps, we have great relationships with both companies. They're the ones that are showing their new products getting released and actually how to apply it. Because some of the stuff that's coming out now, it's pretty cutting edge. There's paint that self-cleans when it rains. But a little caveat to that is masking tape doesn't stick to it. So when you're painting, say you're like painting the soffit, you put that paint on and the next day you go to mask that off and spray the body, it won't stick. You could use almost like duct tape.
Yeah.
So just letting them educate us. Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore, great companies to work with. They offer all training for all of our people for anything new that's getting released because they're always trying to improve their product as well. So
yeah,
that's how we do it.
I remember getting walked through the warranty, and that was part of it. Was like an equation almost of the paint per square foot and all of this and what paint types we were using. And I was just so impressed. It was like, oh, there's clearly a lot more behind the scenes than just showing up with paint and slapping it on.
There's tons. So we have established a really great relationship with both of those companies on the basis that we offer a warranty for everything that we do. And so for our residential clients, it's a 10-year warranty. And anything happens, you call us, we come fix it. Mm-hmm. Now, we install it, right? So all the labor and craftsmanship we're covering. But I had a hiccup where I was sitting there thinking, okay, what happens if it's not us? What happens if it's a product failure? Maybe the paint supplier mixed it up and something with their machine messed up and all of a sudden the paint starts falling off the house. Like, okay, how do I come up with a solution for this? So I had an opportunity to sit down with both companies and be like, hey, if we install this to your manufacturer specification with wet millage requirements and everything like that, will you sign off on covering your product for the label warranty? And so we kind of hold them to the fire with it so that they're accountable with us. Because, I mean, painting your house is such an investment, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not cheap. It's expensive. What we do is expensive. And most people aren't thrilled to just spend thousands of dollars. That's something that doesn't really, if it's a wrong color or something, it's an expensive investment.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that that's being taken care of, and we're not just wasting your hard-earned money, and that you actually have something that's going to last and do its job.
Yeah. Well, there's always roofs, and that was the hardest for me. Paint, at least I got to change the color of my house. Roof was, I have another roof. Cool.
You didn't want hail coming in?
No. Please, Colorado, give us a few years before I got to make another hail claim. Yeah. And we could have a whole podcast about insurance, which we probably will at some point, how that's crazy in Colorado. Yeah. Well, man, in these last few minutes here, is there anything that you want to talk about? Being a preferred contractor, we're encouraging all of the general contractors out there, the developers, anybody that has a project, the homeowners that come to our page that, hey, you're our guy now. Is there anything you want to say directly to them? Why elevation painting?
That's a good question. There's a lot of great contractors out there. We try to be the best. We stand by what we sell. We stand behind our work, and anything that comes up as an issue, we're going to resolve it. We're going to make sure that your client, if you're a general contractor, we're going to make sure that your end user's happy as well as you. And we're going to do that with wonderful communication. We're going to do it with everything as far as scheduling to the color consultations to any questions that anybody has about why we're doing what we're doing. Because I think that's a big thing. A lot of people go through the motions and they don't really understand why they're doing it. Why is it important to prep certain things? Why is it important to make sure that there's no gloss on anything before starting to throw paint up there? And what is delamination and how do you get rid of that? And, like another popular thing that we see a lot of is like sulfactant leaching. And so it's when the sulfactants come out of the paint and it kind of gets like a white chalky residue on darker colors. You'll see it in darker colors.
Okay.
A lot of people start freaking out on it. And if you've never seen it before, it's really concerning. But a lot of, Colorado's got rapid temperature changes and all these things start to happen. So it's a real easy solution. You can screw it up if you paint over it. And all you got to do is just rinse it off with the garden hose. And it'll go away. You won't see it again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is why we keep you around, man. Yeah. There's an expert level to craftsmanship, and it's across the trades. And I think this is what helps set just, your random contractor who swung into Home Depot and grabbed some paint that says I can paint, hear that I can paint, but there's the difference of knowledge that comes in, and you and the team have that. So I'm really, thanks for being here. Thanks for being our verified preferred contractor. You've impressed me in the verification process. After all these years, I still learned something new about you and the team. I was very impressed. I will say, out of a lot of these verifications that we've done, I don't get a lot of yeses to some of the questions that I asked you where you were like, oh yeah, we have that. Just ethics policies for one. That's one that I don't normally get a yes on, where we can help them develop that. But you guys you got it in place. So kudos to you guys.
Well, thanks, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Any final thoughts for the audience today?
I don't think so. I think everybody just needs to go out there and be great. Yeah. Like, this is a great group. We're honored to be a part of this. So, we want to build together. We don't want to build against anybody. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good to have you, man.
Thank you.
One last shout out to our sponsors here. Business Foundry for all of your business accelerator needs, marketing, business mentorship, how to be a better entrepreneur, a better leader. We have all of those solutions in place. And then the Builders Outlet for everything, cabinets, windows, doors, trims. Hopefully you can start painting some of their products soon.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you already have. Didn't even know.
I bet we probably have.
Yeah, awesome. All right, everybody. That's it for today. I will see you next time. Have a good one.